Responsibility. All the events presented in this video are based solely on facts. The purpose of this film is to restore a complete picture of the events taking place and to give a legal assessment of both the events of 1991 to 1993 and the present. The USSR was not destroyed. The seizure of power under the leadership of the CIA is recognized as criminal. Watch the video to the end. The USSR is alive. GKCHP has been restored. Official website governmentussr.su.
Dear colleagues, I will talk about anti-heroes. In recent days, the leading topic of public reflection has been the 30th anniversary of the so-called Belovezhsky agreements. Yes, 30 years ago, three traitors, Yeltsin, Kravchuk and Shushkevich, with their retinue crossed out the will of Soviet citizens expressed in a referendum on March 17, 1991 to live in a single country. And President Gorbachev and his security forces showed criminal inaction and did not arrest the conspirators. Hello, Vesti is on the air. The republics of the former power, with the exception of Georgia and the Baltic states, 11 of them, established the Commonwealth of Independent States. The borders will be open.
Illegitimate separatist Russian Federation Russia, in agreement with criminal separatist private commercial companies, Republic of Azerbaijan, Republic of Armenia, Republic of Belarus, Republic of Georgia, Republic of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyz Republic, Latvian Republic, Republic of Lithuania, Republic of Moldova, Republic of Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, the Republic of Uzbekistan, Ukraine, the Republic of Estonia. December 25, 1991, without any legal grounds and rights, committing forgery, with the tacit consent of the United Nations, illegally declared itself at the international level the legal successor of the USSR.
The seat in the UN Security Council is occupied by Russia instead of the USSR.
On the basis of Decree No. 4, dated June 13, 2023, the State Committee for the State of Emergency of the USSR, as a state military and political body of the Special Conference with expanded powers as the supreme state authority of the great sovereign country, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, was declared to the Organization United Nations, the UN Secretary General, the UN Security Council, the President of the UN Assembly on the criminal conspiracy of international criminal groups with the leadership of the UN, using the territorial location of the organization in the United States under the guise of CIA special forces, as a result of which criminal, commercial, private companies such as the fourth successor of the USSR, Russian Federation Russia, Ukraine, Belarus.
It is only thanks to Stalin's tough stance that both Ukraine and Belarus have become full-fledged members of the United Nations today. The issue of their participation in San Francisco was one of the most pressing. Stalin proposed that all the republics that were part of the USSR should be members of the United Nations, but this caused a violent reaction from the Americans, who in turn stated that they had the same 48 states. This issue threatened to disrupt the entire work of the conference.
Kazakhstan and other fake states.
Everything happened in half a day: the agreement on the coordinating institutions of the Commonwealth of Independent States, the protocol to the Minsk Agreement on the establishment of the Commonwealth of Independent States in the Republic of Belarus, the Russian Federation and Ukraine, the Alma-Ata Declaration, the decision of the Council of Heads of State of the Commonwealth on Russia's membership in the UN Security Council and the future membership of all CIS members in the UN.
Thus, the sovereign citizens of the great sovereign country, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, were deceived and misled.
The issue of future citizenship may become the subject of future disputes between the members of the Commonwealth. I express my opinion that there will be citizens of each individual republic at the same time. They will obviously be considered citizens of the Commonwealth. And Leonid Kravchuk again. This can't be happening. This means that each state will resolve the issue of citizenship in accordance with national legislation. Our legislation provides for dual citizenship, that is, in agreement with Uzbekistan, we can agree and citizens living in Uzbekistan, our Ukrainians or Uzbeks in Ukraine can have dual citizenship, but there will be no citizenship of the Commonwealth. This is not a state.
The UN leadership carried out the act of criminal betrayal and began to leave the vector of fulfilling the statutory task of the UN and its peacekeeping mission to protect, preserve, strengthen peace, human rights, people, clans, tribes, all right humanity as a whole and free countries. On the basis of the gravest, monstrous and anti-moral crimes committed against the one God, against humanity and nature, such as genocide, corruption, money laundering, organization and financing of military conflicts, wars and terrorism, crimes against free countries and human rights, crime in the field of natural tribe law.
From the point of view of international law, the geopolitical transformations of 1991, they did not lead to the disappearance of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. As a subject of international law, a state called the USSR, she did not cease, but continued her international legal personality.
On the basis of the norms of international law, on the basis of the sovereign legislation of the USSR, by the right of the founder, general founder and absolute owner of the United Nations, and all its organizations and structural divisions, the great sovereign country, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, represented by the State Committee for the State of Emergency of the USSR, Decree No. 4 dated June 13, 2023, decided to start the global reorganization of the United Nations and all its organizations and structural divisions, in order to decriminalize the UN and return the organization to the vector of action to fulfill the statutory tasks as well as the creation mission. Due to the involuntary absence of the great sovereign country, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics in the work of the UN and all its organizations and structural divisions, from 1991 to the present, all decisions, legal and by laws acts adopted in the United Nations, and all its organizations and structural subdivisions that contradict the laws and interests of the great sovereign country, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, and its great, united, sovereign Soviet people, as well as those who contradict the norms of international law, adopted and approved before 1991, are considered to be illegitimate and have lost their legal force. We remind you that when signing the founding agreement of the United Nations regarding the contribution of the charter capital of the UN for its organization and development, absolutely all the money in the form of gold in the charter fund of the UN was contributed by the great sovereign country, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, in the amount of its initial charter capital of the UN 3,500 tons. And in total, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics transferred a little less than 20,000 tons of gold to the authorized capital of the United Nations. Countries such as the United Kingdom of Great Britain, the People's Republic of China, the United States of America and France did not contribute their part of the authorized capital as the founders of the United Nations, but assumed obligations to repay their debt to contribute their shares to the authorized capital to the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics for 50 years at very high rates. That is, the above-mentioned countries that had to fulfill their obligations to contribute their shares to the authorized capital of the founding agreement of the United Nations to the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics before the 24th of October 1995. Since the establishment of the United Nations to the present day, the founding countries of the United Nations represented by the United Kingdom of Great Britain, the People's Republic of China, the United States of America and France haven't yet fulfilled their obligations to contribute their shares in the statutory fund of the United Nations to the address of the Union's Soviet Socialist Republics. By the right of the sovereign, on the basis of the norms of international law, on the basis of the above fact of the failure to fill unconditional obligations by the countries, co-founders of the United Nations.
But the results of the March 1991 referendum have no statute of limitations and are not crossed out by the betrayal of a part of the elite.
the Great Southern Countries, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, declared the legal fact of absolute possession as a founder-general of the entire United Nations and all its structural divisions. Starting from 2018, the Great Sovereign Countries, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, and its Great Sovereign Soviet people, by the right of the sovereign, the legislation of the USSR, and international law, in accordance with the UN Charter, is carrying out a large-scale restoration of the state structures and people-state bodies of the Soviet powers that suffered, were legally disbanded and bloodily captured between 1991 to 2023.
Утреннего стяг в жизни важен первый шаг. Слышишь, реют над страною ветры яростных атак. И вновь продолжается бой, и сердцу тревожно в груди. И Ленин такой молодой, и юный октябрь впереди.